All right. Today, we definitely have history in the making. Welcome back to the Point of View podcast. And today I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Tayler Tillman and I am the creator or slash founder of Nito Cafe.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more. Before we even get into that, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm a Chicago native. I'm actually from a suburb of Chicagoland area called Evergreen Park. I recently moved downtown almost 10 months ago, so I'm new to like actually being in the city. Um, I have my MBA, Master's Business Administration from St. Xavier University, Chicago, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
also, I know,
That's cool.
yeah, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I ran with it. I'm glad my job paid for it more than anything.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
like college?
I learned so much in school, and obviously school is not something for everyone. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people need to understand. It's not for everyone. I was just grateful enough to have the opportunity to go. And I'm glad it worked out because I learned so many things, which has kind of led me to the point where I am right now in my
Right.
life, my entrepreneurial things. And I'm grateful for it. I was also pre-med in my undergrad.
Oh, wow.
That was really the hardest part of my life.
Right, right.
um, and a lot of people wonder why I switched to business.
Hmm.
Well, to be honest, my parents, love our African American parents, always
Yeah,
pushing us to be lawyers or doctors or
I can
anything
understand
of
that.
that sort. I just realized that medicine wasn't for me. It just wasn't where my mindset was, which is
Right.
why I finished it out. I worked it out. But then also, I just switched to business when I got the chance. So it just led me to this point.
Right. Yeah. I've toyed with the idea of college, but it's like I don't know. I don't like how college is like pushed. Like that's the only way you can make it in life. Is I want to try it, but then I'm worried that it's just like it's not gonna be or provide what it's supposed to provide.
Let this be a lesson to anyone that is listening or watching this. You don't need to go to school to be successful. You don't need to have a degree to be successful. First of all, there's plenty of trade opportunities out there that make a lot of money and you have great benefits as well. And this is the world we live in when everyone's just a self-starter. You don't have to go through the same status quo way as the society has paved for us all.
Right.
It's so outdated now. Everyone just focus on yourself and focus on your own journey and it'll work out. Life
I can
lesson.
definitely attest to what you're saying because you said that the trade route. That's what I went. I went to trade school for a very short time. I believe it was like 3 months, and with only 3 months of training, they had me a job paying $20 an hour, like with no hands-on experience except for from the school. I went to Virginia Technical Academy, which I love. Like as soon as I return back to Virginia, right now I'm in Wisconsin, but they're helping me get another job back out there. So when it comes to trade, just in general, or kind of just doing your own thing, as long as you stay focused on what you want, you'll reach what you want to achieve. And you're definitely like the image of that. So I want to kind of get more into the Nito Cafe. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Nito Cafe was inspired by the manga cafes that originated in Japan. And what that means, what a manga cafe is, if viewers still aren't aware, a manga cafe is essentially a bookstore with a cafe aspect that focuses on anime and manga. And typically, a lot of these manga cafes just have a lot of spaces where you can relax and just sit down and read. Some of them have private rooms that you can actually rent and sleep in overnight if you're like coming into the city and you need a place to stay. Some serve food. So there's not a perfect ideal of a manga cafe. Each one has different variations of it.
Right.
What I want to do is bring a manga cafe to the United States, which there are also like there are already manga cafes in the States. But what I want to do is create essentially what I call a hub. My idea is to create almost think like a community center.
Right. That's
All
what I was
things,
gonna say. Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. I want to create like a community center of all things like nerd. I guess that's such the easier way to like just say that because I don't want to limit it to people that just watch anime, which is what a lot of manga cafes do. It's only centered around anime. If you
Right.
love Marvel, I want you to be here. I'm supporting you and I'm putting elements in there for you. Marvel DC, if you like Star Wars or anything in between, I am catering this to everyone of the nerd community, not just manga. It's just easier to classify under the manga cafe.
Right, right. I guess that's the best. I guess that's kind of where it started from, but it's definitely not limited to, right?
Absolutely. And then it's like, I also plan on just doing other things at Nito to like really bring in that community vibe. I want to teach classes there. I want to
Hmm.
hire people in the community that have skill sets in like cosplay to do makeup classes, wig construction, costume construction. I want to hire local instructors to teach Japanese, Mandarin, Korean, you know, and then obviously I want to do drawing classes as well. If you're trying to learn how to do like anime styles, manga styles, you name it. I'm going to create just like a community center hub where everyone can get together and learn things together. More than anything, just connect and
Right,
talk. So much of this community is so online based.
right.
And if you get a chance, maybe you can attend a convention, which can add up in prices. And you
Mm.
could be in a city where conventions don't even touch your state. So it's kind of like you're not left with a lot of choices to truly meet people, you know, throughout your city or town that are into the same things you are. And that's
Right,
why it's important to have actual brick and mortar place to do these things.
right. Kind of like a central where
Exactly.
everything that you could want or need in this pretty much I want to say genre, but it breaks the definition of genre. But I wanted to talk more about on how I found out about this. My friend, shout out Jaden, he sent me this on Instagram. He sent me a post. It was, I believe it was a video of you talking about your plan and your ideas and ideals. I was my mind was blown. I was like, this is something actually I had thought about this when I had just came out here to Wisconsin. I had thought about like why isn't this a thing? And I researched it, kind of did research, kind of like not just specifically manga cafe, but just anything around the culture. It's kind of it's like a niche, and but it's deeper than a niche because even a niche has some. It's pretty much nothing. I mean, you have a few stores that kind of try and cater to it, like clothing stores like a Journeys or a Hot Topic, maybe Spencer's, and also you have places where you can get manga like Barnes and Nobles. But I mean, that's kind of like a section. You either get like the bookcase in the back corner, or you get something that's it's not devoted to the whole culture is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like we get our own little area where we're a subcategory rather than the overall aspect.
Yeah. And then, you know, like speaking from like a Chicago perspective, we do have comic book stores. Those tend to be more tailored to like Marvel, DC, however. And then we do have like bookstores, like think like Borders. I don't know if Borders still exists or like Books a
Right.
Million. But then you would always see that the manga section would be like all the way in the back corner. Like it'd be
Yeah.
like just like one bookshelf. And you're just like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. But even more, when you go to places like Starbucks, when you go to places like Dunkin' or these like bookstores like Books a Million, there's nowhere to sit. Like
Yeah.
Starbucks has places to sit, but realistically, we're not trying to read a manga book at Starbucks. It's too
Yeah.
loud, too much going on. Dunkin' Donuts is a whole nother thing. I've never heard of anyone actually say, yes, I love sitting at Dunkin' Donuts and doing my homework. Never
Yeah.
heard that before. And but then it's like when you go to these bookstores, there's no really, they don't, it's like they don't want you to sit and read, which I
Right.
understand because they probably want you just to pay for it.
And then leave. Yeah.
But like I remember as a kid, I used to go to Borders all the time with my father and my sister, and we would just sit down for like hours and just read all the books we want. And we would meet other people as well. And I feel like in this day and age, that's missing
Right.
the community vibe to just read, get to know each other, and just enjoy. It's missing, which is why this is one of my missions as well, trying to increase the amount of readers to like actually just sit down and like gather and just have like book clubs or something, make things
It's a lost
interesting.
art.
It is a lost art.
It definitely is. It's more of like you previously mentioned, it's more online. Let's create a forum let's create a group chat rather than let's meet and actually, talk about this or work on something for it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing as well, like when you put so many things online, people feel powerful enough to say things that they probably wouldn't say in person.
Right.
And I think that's another thing when it comes down to these online chat rooms and groups is that they tend to get a little technical, a little toxic, I guess people would say.
Definitely toxic.
And it's like when I was growing up, like anime lovers, we would just talk and meet each other. We would just talk all day about like anime, we would just
Yeah.
like reenact scenes. We'd write our own like script of an episode of Naruto. That's what me and my
Right.
friends did. And like it was just always fun. Like we never bickered. We were just like, yeah, like I like this too. Now I'm finding with all this online stuff is that people share their opinion. People start
Yeah.
arguing. People have different views. And it's like, that's not the community I remember. I
It's
remember it was all
torn. It's definitely torn.
that's what's happening with online and social media, is that what do people call them? Keyboard warriors. I feel so old, even though I'm not old, trying to keep up with like this link.
Yeah, it's like everybody kind of just says what they want, but it's just behind a screen. It's very just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, and I guess that's why I want to build this community. It's like, it's all about, I want everyone, no matter who you are, where you come from, what your views are. I want us all to have just a good time. Let all that other stuff and leave it behind. When
Right.
you come to Nito, you're just here to have fun. You're here to enjoy things. And that's what I feel like we need more places like this in this country.
Right.
More love, less hate.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I have two questions now.
Okay.
So the first one is, what role did this culture play in your life?
I was introduced to this culture at a very, very young age, and I'm grateful because my parents watched anime as well. Not
Oh,
everyone
that's
is that
cool.
lucky to say
Yeah.
their parents they're into it. Um, it's helped with me with my creativity. I could say that anime has definitely helped me be the person that I am, as in like I blossomed, I'm creative, I try to think outside the box, and I'm happy with who I am.
Right.
And that's what I've always loved about people that were into anime. They're just so raw and natural with who they are. Like we don't care if we have big bows in our hair, as you see here, or we're wearing like colored eye contacts, we
Right.
just go out there and we're being ourselves. And that's what I loved about this community. But I would say definitely like this culture has led me to be just outside the box and thinking about other people more
Right.
than anything. Anime teaches so many life lessons. Well, not all of them,
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
There are a few, but yeah.
but a lot of them teach you life lessons, and you're looking at these characters and you're like, I want to strive to be like that.
Right.
Like Naruto grew
Mm-hmm.
up like that. Even though he had such a hard, struggling life, he had no one really supporting him, like family wise. And
Yeah.
look at where he ended up later on, And like I strive for things like that to just keep working hard and helping others, which is what Naruto always said. He thought about others. So just helped me blossom into the person I am now. This culture.
That's really what got me into anime. It's like its art style is kind of fun and like just all around a good time. And you're thinking you're just watching TV or just watching something when really you look deeper into it and then you get deeper into it and it's an experience. It's deeper than just a show. It's life lessons and it's an entire experience.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that this has all led a bunch of us to this point, like finding who we are, and it's led
Yeah.
us to be the people who we are. I've met some of the most loving, caring people I know are in the anime community.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
especially like preparing for Nito and like marketing it and everything, I've had so much love come my way. People just willing to like take time out of their day to like promote and support it. And I think that
Right.
speaks a lot about this community more than anything.
100%. It's divided, but at the end of the day, it's like a big family because anime and just the whole culture has been kind of shelved for so long or swept in the corner and pushed under the rug. And it's like, okay, we all endured that same, I guess, torment, if you could call it that. It's like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? Oh, watching anime. You watch anime? No, you gotta go somewhere else. Like, I'm pretty sure all of us has went through that at least one time in life. And it's kind of like we all have been through that, and it's a family. No matter how much you believe that freaking Goku is better than Naruto, at the end
Or
of the day,
Boruto better than Naruto.
I've heard that argument so many times. I'm just like, you got it.
Yeah, just like great, awesome. My favorite color is red, yours is blue. Let's keep it moving, right?
Exactly. It's no point in even arguing with it, because then you'll end up losing a limb. What do you mean Naruto is better? No, 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 no. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I've
moments
been
like
in
that,
those
I'm like,
arguments.
yeah, moments like that, I'm like, whoo, I'm suddenly all thirsty, trying to change the subject. I'm like, whoo,
Yeah. You want McDonald's? Oh, okay. Let's go to McDonald's, because
Burger
I'm
King's
definitely
better
done
than
with this con.
McDonald's. Just
Yeah,
keep going. You're like, oh gosh.
exactly. But next question, what do you think something like you're trying to create now, if you had that when you were younger, how do you think that would have affected you?
That's a great question. I'm thinking it would have allowed me to start already so many things because,
Right.
like I said before, like I was already exposed to the community of like being at a Borders and like reading with other kids my age. We'd all be sitting next to each other reading the manga books, and we would
Right.
actually meet up every week, you know. So I got exposed to that feeling, which has led me to where I am now. But if we actually had manga cafes to this magnitude back when I was a kid, I'd probably be working on other things right now, anime related, entrepreneurial wise,
Right.
and bringing those to life. So, not too much of a change in between me being exposed to that. But definitely, I'd be working on some other bigger things right now. That
Right.
was already a thing.
Right. Yeah, I think this is something big, of course, for people older our age, but it's also something huge for the youth. Like people 9 and under, uh 13 and under. Like, I feel like this is something huge for them that they can just cherish. I mean, I can't really think of anything that children really have where they can just go and have a good time and just kind of just be there, you know?
Yeah, and that was the thing. I've actually been in contact with a couple parents that were like so excited for this like cafe. They were like, because I literally have no place to take my kids. And I thought,
Yeah.
like, wow, no, they're right. A lot of things I did as a kid do not exist anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Toys R Us is gone. Like,
Gone. A lot of Chuck E. Cheeses are
yeah.
gone or unsafe.
Yeah,
um,
it's on its last leg. It's about to
yeah,
go.
it's
I
a
don't see
sad
it lasting
time.
longer.
It's a sad time for our youth, which is why I
Yeah.
think it's a great time for the communities, multiple communities to get together and trying to strive to do something for our youth, guide them down
Right.
the right path and give them something to focus on.
Definitely, definitely. I feel like this could trailblaze something much, much bigger for the youth and for just children in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think about when I was a kid, I read a lot as a kid. I
Yeah.
read probably too much as a kid. I remember, but like the schools would always force books down your throat. Like they'd be like, read Harry Potter, read these giant books like this big, and you're like
Yeah.
a second grader. And like that was a lot to take in as a kid. And I really wish at a young age, like schools kind of introduce manga into their curriculum.
Right.
It's so much more interesting in most cases.
Yeah. And I feel like you get more too than a regular book.
Yeah, it gets your creative mind circulating, you're thinking
Hmm.
outside the box. It's teaching them life lessons.
Hmm.
Not knocking on Harry Potter, guys. I'm a huge Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings fan. I read those books 1,000 times over. But I'm just saying, like, imagine if you were a kid and you were in school and you got introduced to manga books as your school curriculum. Think about how crazy things would be right now.
It definitely would be different. Definitely.
Thank you. That's why I'm like thinking ahead.
Yeah, yeah. If you change things, things are gonna change. It's basically as simple as that. If you kind of try something new is gonna come out. It's not going to be the same if you're pushing down the same books to every generation. If you're every book has every generation has read this book or had to do a school project on this book, and you're just turning out the same product pretty much every time.
Yeah, and I think this is a great lesson for this country and this world is that you have to keep up with the times and
Hmm.
trends. And the fact of the matter is, times are changing, and you
Yeah,
have to just keep changing things to relate to the youth and everything, and just
right.
keep thinking of different ways to keep them engaged and interested. And anime is
Definitely.
the future.
Yeah.
Schools should be
I,
investing in that.
I can't believe I went to the theater. I believe it was last year. This year too, I saw the My Hero Academia movie, and I
Ooh,
never thought I would see the day that a My Hero movie would be in the theater right down the street from my house.
yeah, crazy time we live in, right? Because I remember I had to like hijack my parents' laptop and like go
Yeah,
on shady websites to watch the movies. Sorry, parents, if you're watching this and you got viruses on your computer. Um,
that's where they came from.
that's where the dedication came from. I had to stream off things. I used to have download all the opening theme songs to like Bleach and stuff to my parents' phone and send it to mine. Oh yeah, I was
Exactly.
hard.
Yeah, now it's just there. Like you can just go anywhere. I could go on Netflix right now and find hundreds of anime shows, anime movies, where it's becoming a big part of mainstream media now.
And I think that's why it's important that we all need to stick together to make sure we're doing something for this community. Like,
Right.
even though we're getting these movies in the theaters, which not all theaters, they do select theaters,
Yeah.
why not all theaters? Why aren't we having like manga book clubs? Why aren't we doing more community things together? And which is why I'm excited for this cafe to like start that pivotal moment to start doing these things for the
Right.
community and lead to like other things.
Right. Right. Bigger and better.
Mhm.
100%. Now, big question. Why now for the cafe, and why is now a good time to start to make this a thing? Because like you said, we've never in the entire US, we've never had anything remotely close to this. Why now, and why specifically should it start in Chicago?
Okay. Well, I don't want to get a little sappy on everyone, but I've had many jobs. I've had many coworkers, many managers, some who are probably going to watch this. Um, but I got tired of being used for what I was capable of.
Right.
I got tired of people taking my hard work, my creativity, and using it for their own selfish needs so it could benefit them. I got tired of being overworked
Yeah.
and exploited basically. And I've gotten to my last straw. Like, I've already been working on many different projects the last couple of years, but what led me to this point was that about a month and a half ago, I was watching a video on a introvert in Japan. I forgot the name of his channel, but I'll make sure I'll get that information back to you. But
Yeah.
he basically walked around Japan and he ended his day at a manga cafe. And I didn't even finish the rest of the video. Literally, when he walked in the manga cafe and said he was going there, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I've known about manga cafes my whole life. Like, why did it take me now to be like, oh, we need this now, we need this here?
Right.
And as soon as I literally got to that point, turned it off, next day I was already talking to a bunch of people about it.
Right.
I got on the works of it. But basically, being exploited for who I am and what I was capable of doing has led me to this point of like, I don't want to call it desperation, where like it was time for me to do my own thing and
Fresh
be my
start.
own fresh start. But why Chicago? Born and raised, gotta put it in your location first before anything. And I feel like Chicago is just a great hub for this because we have so many conventions that happen
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago too. Like, we have some like almost like maybe like every 2 to 3 months, but sometimes we have smaller ones in between. So we have a
Right.
lot going on here, and everyone usually travels from the Midwest just to come to our conventions. So I think that was like the key point to start it here.
Right. Yeah. How do you like it in Chicago? You like it there?
It's changing rapidly.
Yeah.
If anyone's caught up on the news of what's happening in Chicago every day. It is changing rapidly, but it's in certain areas and it's still a great city to be in. Chicago is just a different place, many great people, a lot of great businesses. And that's why I'm excited to join the Chicago Business Club.
Yeah,
And just
up
bring
there with Michelle Obama. You're in good company.
Yes, so I'm just excited to bring this to my hometown and just be here with it and then
Right.
hopefully expand.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you've, okay, first, how long have you been carrying this plan?
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months. Wow.
Yes. Moving fast.
Yeah, that's a lot of progress from an idea to a full-fledged business plan in 2 months. That's amazing. What are some struggles that you've had to overcome since you started with this idea?
I think most people can agree with me when they say themselves as being number one. You are your own worst enemy. There were days where I was like, are people actually going to care about this if I do this? Will people be interested? Will I get the funds for this? Am I
Right.
wasting time? And like, this is something consciously on my mind. I'm like, yeah, people are supporting it, but then you're still doubting yourself. You're like, but do people really, really want this?
Yeah.
Um, Two is obviously funding. Unfortunately, the way a lot of banks run here is that if they don't really have a lot of things to compare your business to, they don't want to risk giving you the money for it.
Right.
Especially trying to explain to a lot of big banks what a manga cafe is hasn't been going a little too well. They're like,
Corporate, yeah.
yeah. So we get it when you're explaining it to us. So like, but like, why? And like, do you really think that's gonna make money? And I'm like, yes, it's a very lucrative business in Japan. And they're like, yeah, but that's Japan, it's different. And I'm like, okay. So, but funding number two, but I'm aware of the times, like people have been losing their lives, people have been losing loved ones, people have been losing their jobs, people are getting sick, it's around the holidays. So I'm fully aware of like everyone's capabilities and what they can do to support what they can't do, which is why I always share to people, your sharing and reposting goes way further than your donation to a certain extent.
Right.
Because when you share and repost, I don't know who's following you, who you're following. Like, as you said, your friend showed you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that speaks more volumes than anything, that just by you sharing and reposting to your platform, that you get to meet people like you, Cameron, and it comes back to me. So that's why I say anything that anyone can do matters and helps.
Right. That was my next question, was if somebody wanted to help, I guess, further this business, push it off, how could they help?
Well, there's a couple things. I do have a GoFundMe up and running that's going to keep up on GoFundMe. They can donate on there, or if we're talking more like a business partnership investing type thing, they can reach out to me. My email is on my Instagram as well. If you hit contact, sometimes I have someone helping me, so they'll forward me the email as well. But yeah, they can reach out to me and we can talk about things as well.
I'll make sure to put the link to your GoFundMe in the bio of this video, and also your email in case anybody wants to reach out to you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about as far as the cafe?
Um, I think I can give a little backstory as to like another reason why I thought about this.
Mhm.
And I've been seeing this a lot on a lot of anime groups as well. When you decide to be a fan of anime, especially at a young age, you go through a lot.
Right.
And you mentioned this a little bit before. I have heard countless stories, and I've seen it with my own eyes, of people close to me being bullied, harassed, cast aside just because their love of anime. And it's sickening to me because the anime community is some of the nicest people I've ever known in my life, and they
Right.
don't deserve that. So that's why I think it's important to have a space for nerds alike so that we're bonded together. But I guess I leave my message with love goes further than anything. Being nice to each other goes further than anything. And I just hope that listening to all of this, we all learn to just be nice to each other and be kind, because you never know what the person next to you, across from you, is going through. And that kindness goes very far.
Right. At the end of the day, we're all human and we all deserve love and companionship and just respect as, if nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. We're all human.
Yeah. We bleed the same. We may not look the same, but we go through the same things. So I think that's important. And that's where the word community came from, right? Building a community, getting up to this point where we all stick up for each other and we help each other. So I'm grateful for what the anime community has been blessing me with so far, with all their wonderful words and their feedback. And I just know things are going to be great, and we're going to be going down the right path soon. And Nito Cafe is going to be up and running soon. Speaking that into
100%.
existence.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this is definitely history in the making. This is definitely going to be something huge, and I really appreciate you coming on here and talking and kind of just letting me see where your mind is at and your, I guess, business plan for the future.
Yeah, thank you, Cameron, for inviting me. This has been great, and I hope everyone was able to get a little context about who I am and my thought process about the cafe. But if anyone has any other questions, they can always reach out to me as well.
Can we possibly get you on here for another one later in the future?
Absolutely, because I have no life.
I guarantee that's gonna change very soon.
What, and get rid of watching anime and listening to K-pop music videos? I could not.
Yeah, I think your anime watching, manga reading days are soon to be over. You're gonna be swamped with business.
Swamped with business, but I'm praying that I'd be able to hire a bunch of people in the community and give them the opportunity to show their skill set and give back to the community. So
That's another aspect I forgot to, I guess, dive into, but I'll just touch over it briefly. This is creating so many jobs. Like, you're employing so many people with this plan altogether.
yeah, just not any, like not any jobs. Like you're gonna probably see these on Indeed, but they're not gonna be your typical Indeed description.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say how much you're gonna get paid up to. I'm going to say, no, you do not need a master's degree to be a supervisor.
Yeah, yeah,
And saying like, oh yeah, but you don't need 15 years of experience working in HR in the business world. I am so tired of people asking for these ridiculous requirements just to overwork people.
yeah.
You will not see that here. And if anything, I'm just trying to create more jobs that are more dependent to the person more
Right.
than the company itself. If you're a cosplayer, I want to hire you as a cosplayer, not a worker being a
Yeah.
cosplayer. And that's the difference. And I think a lot of companies need to have that mindset as well.
Yeah, at the end, like we said already, at the end of the day, we're dealing with people, not just statistics or numbers. I can definitely attest to that. I work at Amazon, so whenever I have to go to the bathroom, they're always forcing me to hurry up and come back. And as soon as I get back, they're like, "You were gone for 5 minutes. That's 200 packages you could have moved." And it's always a statistic. It's never, "Oh, I'm human, so I have to use the bathroom." Yeah, it's yeah.
I see it all the time. But to let everyone know, if you work for me, you can stay in the bathroom as long as you want. But I've had days like that as well. Just
Yes,
so you
we've
know.
all had that one bad batch at Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying if you're in there, I understand because I've been there before.
Yeah,
But that's what people need to understand. These companies, especially now with like the great resignation, when everyone's just leaving their jobs because they're underpaid, overworked, companies need to get smarter.
right,
That's why I'm focused on hiring great people with great personalities. I can teach you how to be a supervisor, how to be a manager. We could take classes together on leadership,
right,
but people miss out on great employees just because they put all these crazy requirements on there, and you
right.
miss out on a great person. So excited to start hiring our team and have Nito up and running and then expand.
Yeah, make it global.
Yeah, I'm not going to make a comment on expanding because I don't want someone adding me in the comment saying, well, you have to do New York first or you have to do
Oh
California.
yeah, that's gonna be all in the comments.
No, I'm not even going to speak on that. So
Yeah, Definitely. But I know it's coming soon, or definitely soon. Definitely soon.
Yeah, and I just thank people like you, Cameron, for reaching out to me, which speaks a lot about you as a person, that you were willing to just reach out and say, I want to be a part of this. Have me
Right.
help you, you know? And I wish the best of luck to you and your endeavors as well.
Thank
But
you.
I know that you'll be a great asset to our team.
Definitely. I'm here for whatever. I'm definitely in it for the long run. Any way I could be a part of this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the future with not just like you, me, Nito, but like this whole community, because I think we're literally just starting to see
100%.
something great in the making.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. I 100% agree with you. I didn't say this like 4 times, but it's history in the making, and I'm definitely glad to be a part of it. And like I said, thank you for coming. Thank you for being available and reaching, being being open to even be available to have somebody reach out to you, because a lot of people, when they have stuff like this, the line for communication isn't there. It's not possible.
Yeah, and like not gonna lie, like I'm getting swamped with requests, but
Right.
I'm still trying to make sure I attend each one because these are great people doing great things as well. And I want to see how I can help them and benefit them as well. So even though you may see me crying in a corner at some day because I'm breaking down from being tired, I still love you all.
But you got to remember, mental health comes first. That's most important.
Yes, but also I want to make sure I'm giving great support to everyone. And trust me, I'm still getting my K-pop nights in and I'm sleeping and
Ooh,
everything. But
he said K-pop. It's over. I got into K-pop first before I got into anime. It was a process. It was K-pop, then anime, then manga.
oh, so you went like backwards forward.
Yep.
I would love to talk to you about that in the future, how that,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
but yeah, it's been great, Cameron. And
It's been good. You enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for coming.
no, you as well. Thank you for having me.
All right.